Hey guys, Soncerae here. So, the newest conversation right now amongst people is the fact that I have not started prenatal care. A lot of people are worried that my child may have birth defects or that I haven't saw a physician at all, or I'm faking bed rest because I don't have a solid OBGYN yet, or the fact that, because I was molested before and been sexually assaulted, I'm afraid for a doctor to give me pelvic exams, because I won't let anybody take my blood. I won't get on any medication. I don't want to take medicine. I don't want to do anything. And there's a reason behind all of that. And one of the things that Priest and I used to talk about when we would talk about me being pregnant is trying to do everything natural and holistically. There were certain things he didn't want me to eat. There were certain things he didn't want me to drink. I mean, it's really very difficult to find things that I can even stomach with me being pregnant, because I just can't eat certain things, can't do certain things. I'm just worried. Number one, I'm 37 pregnant, and being over 30 or even 35, being pregnant is a lot. And the fact that I've had miscarriages in the past, and the pain from that, just the emotional pain from that, the physical pain from that, and the abortions, the medical abortions that I've had, and the issues with that, I just really hate going to the doctor. Like, the doctor is, one of those things that I just I don't know. I just don't feel any level of comfort for that right now. And also what's really, really bothering me is that since about May, okay, when I did first meet Priest, it was very difficult for me to open up to him sexually. We had an issue with sex because I was very, not ready. And he knew I was very uncomfortable. And because of the sexual assaults and molestation that I experienced when I was young, it is extremely difficult for me to have sex. So when people think I'm promiscuous or I sleep around a lot, they have to understand, anytime I had ever slept with someone in the past, I've always been under the influence of drugs and alcohol. So now that I don't drink and I don't smoke or I don't do drugs, trying to have sex without drinking, being fully aware of what I'm doing is very difficult because of the molestation I experienced for many years and the sexual assaults. So now when I think about going to the doctors, and I think about doctors putting their hands in my, vagina and things of that nature, it just feels uncomfortable to me, just the thought of it. And it's just an accumulation of feelings. And because I did open up to Priest sexually, and I was with him for all of those months, even to the last day I saw him, we were always cuddling and hugging and kissing and having sex. And to know that even though he wasn't interested in me and that he didn't love me anymore, he wanted to be with someone else, he was still having sex with me. He was still hugging me. He was still rubbing my belly. He was still just doing all of the things that, a man that loves a woman would do. And for me to be broken up with him right now, and to know that all of that time he didn't care about me, it really hurts, because my body is so important to me. And touch is one of those things that I'm very selective about. I don't let a lot of people touch me. And so for him to, get online and say things about how my vagina smells, and to post text messages of me telling him, that when I was younger, men that sexually assaulted me or molested me would try to use, vagina smell as the reason why I shouldn't feel confident in myself, or I should have low self-esteem. These were things that, men told me when I was young. and I'm getting molested, that these were things that they would use to try to hold me back, but still try to molest me, and they were still having sex with me. So it wasn't until I got older that I realized, you know what, men will say things to you like that to hurt you, not necessarily to that they mean it, but they will say these things to hurt you, because it doesn't make any sense for a man to, say that a woman smells a certain way, or a vagina smells a certain way, and then he would continue to keep having sex with her. It just didn't make sense to me. So for priests to be saying that about me, it's just all mentally, it's a lot to take in right now, what I'm experiencing. So, just the thought of going to the doctor regularly is just uncomfortable to me. The first time I went to the doctor, even then, he asked, she asked, it wasn't even a man, she asked, could she do a pelvic exam? And I told her no. And then when we went to get the ultrasound tech asked me, could she use, not the ultrasound machine that you put over your stomach, but the one that you stick inside of the vagina. I wouldn't let her do that. I just won't let anybody touch me in that area. It just feels uncomfortable to me, the thought about it. And so then when I saw another doctor after I had been bleeding, and it had been the third time this had happened, I went to see a doctor, and he began to give me a pelvic exam, and I couldn't even let him finish. And I told him my symptoms. I told him how I felt. And he told me, well, since you're not, going to let me, you're not going to feel comfortable with the pelvic exam, the best advice I can give you is to, be on bed rest, keep yourself hydrated, try to get as many vitamins as you need. And, when you feel comfortable enough to allow someone to give you a pelvic exam and the blood testing that you need, then you do it. He told me that the latest I could wait to do prenatal care was 18 weeks. So I'm at 16 now. Now, mind you, weeks ago, I signed up for Medicaid so I can get some type of insurance to do prenatal care. And for some reason, this was denied. And I think it's because, I don't know, it could be anything. So I have to start over the process and actually go to, the Division of Family Child Services and try to, figure, what happened the first time. So it's really like a process, and, it's just a lot for me to deal with, a lot for me to think about. I'm pregnant at 37. I had been trying all of this time, and the man that I tried with, left me in the state that I'm in. And it's just the way that my mental is right now. It's just like a lot to deal with. So it's people out there that can't understand that. It's going to be people out there that don't have empathy for it, but it's going to be a lot of women out there who can relate to my experience, and they can hear me, say this is what I'm going through because of my molestation and because of the sexual assaults and because of what I'm going through with the man I was in a relationship with that I thought cared for me. He just basically disrespected my body. He disrespected the entire relationship. And so I have to mentally deal with this on a day-to-day basis. And so as I'm trying to pull through, and I think about going to the doctor, and I also think about, the health of my baby. I just try to live my life the healthiest, and, try to make sure that I feel the movement of my child every day. And I just, I'm trying to just mentally prepare myself and physically prepare myself for whatever's about to happen. And there's a possibility that Priest was cheating on me while we was together. So if I have an STD or something like that, or if I have HIV or anything like that, I have to mentally prepare myself for whatever type of results I'm going to get when I go to the doctors, and they have to take my blood test and they have to give me pelvic exams. So trust me, I'm not sitting here like all gun-ho about going to the doctors. There's plenty of reason why I just am so like feeling negatively about it. It doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. It doesn't mean that everybody around me isn't pressing the issue, because my mother is definitely pressing the issue. My friend Marie is, my friend Beverly, and they're like, well, listen, we'll go with you if that'll make you feel a little bit better. And I'm like, okay, whatever would flow right at this point. I really just want to do. I think my biggest concern initially at first was getting priest out of my system, and then it was getting myself stably in an environment, where I'm living well and eating well. And then it was, now I have to sign up for Medicaid or whatever to get some type of prenatal care. But I wanted to make sure I knew where I was going to live. It's just a plan. It's like I'm planning in my mind. And at the same time, I have to deal with so many other things. It's just, I don't expect everybody to understand exactly what I'm experiencing, because I can only share but so much of my life, because I do share a lot of what's happening to me right now, but there's still certain things that I have not shared. And so when people, jump to conclusions or try to judge me for not, already starting prenatal care, there's a reason why I haven't done that. And it's just, to me, if I could find me a holistic doctor anywhere, I would choose that over anything. But I know, that's going to be even more difficult. I mean, even the list that they gave me last time I went to the doctors, they gave me a list of prenatal care physicians that I've been looking at. And I don't know. I really, this is very, very difficult for me. I'm having a very, very difficult time coping with everything that's happening around me. So anyone who, empathizes for that or has sympathy for that, or maybe even understands what I'm going through, please, email me and help me out. Give me some positive words and, just encourage me to, that I'm going to get through this and I'll be fine. And that's really what I just want people to understand. Try to, at least. I appreciate you listening. Thank you. Have vision and stay focused. Namaste.